Hi brewers, I'm Daniel with Keg King. Today we're going to have a quick look at the Mark III regulator that comes with the kegerator kits that we sell here at Keg King. So let's have a look at that now. So your Mark III regulator that comes with your kegerator sometimes will come in a white box. If you've bought it separately, it might come in this box here. So when you open it up, you'll see the regulator has come disassembled, sort of, so that it's easy to transport. So what you're going to be doing is removing the regulator body and gauges, and then there's the pressure adjustment knob that goes onto the regulator here. So you'll first screw this into place, and it just needs to be loose. So when you get that into place, you're not going to have it cranked all the way down. The more that we turn this clockwise, the more pressure we're putting onto the diaphragm inside of the regulator housing. Now the regulator itself comes equipped with a type 30 bolt on it. This is going to be for attaching it to the gas cylinder. So once you get this assembled onto the gas cylinder, you'll check for leaks. And then there's a swivel nut and barb on this. This barb on this side is a 6mm barb that you're going to be able to run your gas line from out to your kegs. So there is a pressure relief valve in between the two gauges. And the gauges on this one are a high pressure gauge and a low pressure gauge. So this gauge, the low pressure gauge, is the one that you're going to need to be aware of so that when you adjust this knob down into place, you'll see the needle coming up and you'll know what pressure you're setting to. Once you've got it to the PSI that you would like to set to, you just leave it and that's it. It will actually work for you. Every time that you pour a beer, this regulator will notice the drop in pressure and will add back the pressure to the top of the keg. The high pressure gauge is this other gauge over here. This is telling you what the pressure is inside the gas cylinder that you're serving from. So it doesn't tell you exactly how full the cylinder is, but it gives you an idea of what the pressure is, so you'll know if you have some gas in there. On this T30 bolt, it already comes with a seal attached to it. But because we're so generous, we give you a second seal just in case. The output of this regulator is this swivel nut and barb on the side. This is where you're going to attach your gas line that's going to be going to your kegerator system. So just to show you, this is the red EverFresh line, and you don't even need to heat it up. It will actually just slide right onto that 6mm barb. And then with the stepless clamp already on the line, just slide that over onto the barb, and then just give it a squeeze. And that is a nice, tight gas connection from your regulator that will go to your kegerator system. Locate your T30 bolt and put that finger tight onto the threading of your gas cylinder. Now a great tool to use while you're doing this, or for doing this, once you get it on there finger tight, is to use the 5-in-1 tap spanner. That's this little tool that comes with your kegerator kits. So once you get it finger tight into place, make sure you tighten it back off, or rather tighten it into place. To begin with, you want your adjustment knob to be loose. So we'll start by turning the gas bottle on by opening the valve on top of the bottle. Just give it a couple of turns, and that's now flowing gas into the regulator, but not flowing out of the regulator just yet. In order to get the gas to come out of the regulator, we're going to now turn the adjustment knob clockwise to get it to start to depress the diaphragm. When it does, what you'll notice is the needle here will begin to, when it starts to get a little tighter on the adjustment knob, the needle will start to rise. You want to set your kegerator systems for somewhere around, and this is for our kegerator systems, since they're short draw systems, someplace around 10, 11, or 12 is going to be right for the temperature that you're set to in your kegerator. So let's bring this low pressure gauge up by applying some pressure on the diaphragm, and as you see, it's moving just that little bit. And that's about 10 psi right there. This other gauge over here is the high pressure gauge. That's measuring the pressure inside the cylinder. Every time that you pour, you never have to reset this, so you just set and forget. However, if you were to overcarbonate, or if you had overpressurized, or whatever the accident was where you have gone above the pressure that you'd like to run your keg systems for, you can depressurize. To depressurize, you're going to counterclockwise on the adjustment knob so there's no pressure on the diaphragm any further. You're going to turn off the bottle, and you're going to pull the PRV. that will drop that right back on the low pressure side to 0. So you can then start again. Now, if your kegs were to lose pressure, this is still going to be putting out 10 psi, and this is how you lose a gas bottle. Small leaks in your gas system, even pinhole leaks, can empty a gas bottle overnight. So once you've got everything set up with your regulator system and your gas system, do make sure that you've checked all the joins to make sure there's no pinhole leaks, there's nothing that's leaking or not a tight seal. You can do this with foamy soapy water or foaming sanitizer spray. It's pretty easy to notice when the bubbles are popping because that's where your gas leak is. If you have a gas leak, get on top of it quickly because that's going to be an empty bottle by morning. So that's your Mark III regulator from Keg King. It's really easy to set up and use, and it's a really reliable piece of gear. It does wonders in your kegerator system for keeping the pressure on the kegs exactly how you like it. So, if you liked this video and found it helpful, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, and thanks for watching, brewers. We'll see you next time.